Imagine a world where your social standing hinges entirely on your family name, and where naval officers, heroes of the nation, are seen as, well, a bit distasteful just because they earned their place.
It sounds pretty strange today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's exactly the kind of world Jane Austen explores in Persuasion.
Right. Austen herself was part of the English gentry, and she had this incredible eye for the details of their um, rather insulated lives, their class consciousness, even while huge changes like wars and revolutions were happening outside their bubble.
hmm And today we're going to unpack some of that in Persuasion, looking at her ideas on social rank, this emerging idea of merit, and maybe what really makes a person worthy.
Exactly. And before we jump right in, we wanted to mention Mindful Moments over on our YouTube channel.
Ah, yes. It uses AI to analyze books like Persuasion, and it's really great for sparking your own thinking about these kinds of themes we'll be talking about. Worth checking out.
Definitely. Okay, so Sir Walter Elliot. He's almost a caricature of snobbery, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. His disgust for the Navy is quite something. He actually says it brings persons of obscure birth into undue distinction.
Undue distinction, as if earning your place is somehow wrong.
Precisely. It's not just looking down his nose at them. You get the sense he's genuinely threatened by it. It shakes his whole belief system where status is just handed down.
Yeah, it's the anxiety of the old guard, isn't it? Seeing this professional class rising up. And he even connects it to appearance.
He does. He assumes because they've been at sea, faced rough weather, they must be, well, unattractive, almost repulsive.
It's such a bizarre link Austen makes, their snobbery tied to a horror of unattractiveness. Like he thinks society and nature should agree on who's important.
And what's so clever is how Austen contrasts that static appearance-obsessed view with the Navy itself.
How so?
Well, the Navy, it represents a different way of judging people, doesn't it? It's about meritocracy, about what you can do, your achievements.
Right, a direct challenge to just inheriting your position. In the Navy, you were judged by your actions, your skill, completely different from Sir Walter's world.
Exactly. And you see this conflict play out so clearly when he needs to rent out Kellynch Hall.
Ah, yes, to Admiral Croft. His initial reaction is pure suspicion, isn't it?
Totally. He's all cold inquiries, checking the Admiral's background, making sure he's, acceptable. Is he the right sort of person?
But then they actually meet. What happens there?
Well, it's quite funny, actually. Sir Walter, being Sir Walter, ends up complimenting the Admiral's appearance in his own sort of backhanded way, naturally. Something about his hair.
Always about the looks with him.
Always. And the Admiral gives this slightly condescending compliment back, basically saying Sir Walter seems harmless enough.
So even Sir Walter's prejudice gets swayed a little by actually meeting the person, even if his judgment is still completely superficial.
It shows how flimsy those prejudices can be face to face.
Yeah.
But his core values are still there, like his ideas about professions.
Oh, right. His belief that only people who don't have to work can stay healthy and good-looking.
He flat out says that men in professions lose some personableness as they get older.
It just hammers home how shallow he is, doesn't it? Equating work with losing your looks and somehow your value.
It's a very limited view. And Austen uses characters like the naval officers, who are accomplished and admirable, to subtly critique that exact mindset.
And that narrowness isn't just him. His daughter, Elizabeth, shares it.
Oh, certainly. Her attitude towards the Crofts and other naval people in Bath, she just dismisses them.
She's worried they'll embarrass her in front of Lady Dalrymple, her high-status relative.
Exactly. It's all about maintaining these rigid social boundaries, avoiding anyone who might not be approved of by the right people. It's such a stark contrast.
A contrast to what, exactly?
Well, a contrast to how society, even in the book, sometimes proves more fluid than Elizabeth wants to believe. Think about Captain Benwick.
Ah, the melancholy scholar turned sailor.
Right. And he ends up marrying Louisa Musgrove. Now, based on strict social standing and his whole previous romantic history and deep sadness, it seems pretty unlikely, doesn't it?
It does. It really challenges those neat social boxes. It shows that, actual personal connection can sometimes just ignore the rules.
Precisely. Affection, compatibility, they can pop up in unexpected pairings, undermining those rigid lines Elizabeth tries so hard to draw.
Speaking of challenging assumptions, what about Mrs. Smith? Her views on marriage seem quite relevant here.
Yes, Mrs. Smith adds another layer. She talks about Mr. Elliot, Sir Walter's heir, in his first marriage.
The one purely for money.
Right. And Mrs. Smith admits that back then she kind of accepted it. Saw it as him just, doing what was necessary, doing the best for himself, as society saw it. Youthful thoughtlessness, maybe?
But she doesn't still think that way, does she?
No, not at all.
No.
Having experienced hardship herself, time, illness, sorrow, as she puts it, she sees the lack of heart, the lack of conscience in that kind of mercenary choice.
So her experience gives her this critical perspective on just climbing the social ladder through marriage. It's not just about strategy, it's about character.
Exactly. It highlights a deeper understanding of what matters in relationships, beyond just securing wealth or status.
And Captain Wentworth himself goes through a transformation in how he sees things, particularly Anne.
He really does. Initially, he's quite bitter, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
About her breaking off their engagement years ago. He saw it as weakness, her being easily persuaded.
Yeah, he held on to that resentment for a long time.
But as he observes her again, interacts with her, he starts to see her differently. He notices her steadiness of principle, her quiet strength, her resolution of a collected mind.
Especially compared to Louisa Musgrove's impulsiveness, perhaps.
Very much so. He contrasts Anne's thoughtful steadiness with Louisa's, well, obstinacy of self-will and daring of heedlessness, as the book puts it.
So he moves beyond judging her past actions based on youthful hurt and starts to see the depth of her character.
Exactly. He develops this profound respect for who she is, recognizing qualities far more important than just, going along with things or superficial charm. It's real growth on his part.
Which brings us to Anne Elliot herself. She's really the heart of it all, isn't she?
Absolutely. She's so aware of all these social pressures and expectations.
But she navigates them with such quiet integrity. She doesn't make loud protests, but she holds on to her own values.
And she has this incredible capacity for empathy. Look at her friendships, her genuine connection with people like Mrs. Smith, or even her understanding towards Captain Benwick. Across social divides.
Yeah, she connects with people based on who they are, not their rank. So in the end, where does her happiness come from? It's not about climbing the social ladder for her.
No, definitely not. Her ultimate happiness comes from finding that genuine connection again with Wentworth, being valued for her true self, for her character. It's a powerful statement that real worth is internal, found in authentic relationships, not just social approval.
So Persuasion really paints this complex picture, doesn't it? These clashes between judging people by appearance and birth versus this rising idea of merit, achievement, and ultimately individual character. Austen makes you think about what truly gives someone value.
She really does. It's still so relevant.
And if you want to explore these ideas even further, remember to check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
And our podcasts also offer more analysis like this.
So if you found this discussion interesting, please do subscribe to our show. We'd love to have you back for more conversations like this.
And share it with anyone else you think might appreciate looking at these themes.
If you want to dive into Persuasion yourself, you can find a link to purchase the book in our show notes. It really rewards rereading.
Definitely.
And most importantly, just keep thinking critically. Keep questioning the assumptions you see, whether in books or in the world around you.